Dear Mom and Dad, a few weeks back I came across a video on YouTube called Malaysians4Change. It made sense and got me thinking. I did some research but got more questions instead. I hope you can help me. Basically, Mom, Dad, I'd like to know what's my future here. Do I have one? I grew up here, I hope to work here, have a family here and grow old here. I am now in my final year of uni and I hope to get a job next year. But my friends say their parents tell them to go overseas and don't come back. What's going on? You told me in the 70s when you left the uni, you told your parents to stop work and you took care of them. A Toyota Corolla would cost 9 months of your salary, a house would cost 51 months' salary, and a plate of rice only 60 cents, and even get 7 ounces of gold with 1 month's salary. Can you believe that? Today, a Toyota Vios will take 45 months of salary. We pay more than the Americans and the Indonesians. A house costs 28 years of salary. That's a lifetime of working, Pa. A plate of rice costs more than 4 ringgit, and it jumped up 20 cents in my canteen last week. When we asked the canteen operator why, his answer was minyak naik. Why is that? We export oil, don't we? Do you know how much gold a fresh graduate can get with their salaries today? Less than 0.4 ounces. 18 times less than what you got. What has become of the quality of our education? People with 17 A's in SPM fail in their first year in uni. We produce unemployable graduates, 80,000 in total in 2009 alone. Why are they messing about with our history? What happened to Hang Tuah and Hang Jebat? Were they removed just because they were Chinese? People feel a sense of hopelessness. 400,000 have left the country over the past 2 years. I suspect many are doing it for their children's education. In other words, I think they are voting with their feet. I had hoped that when I graduate next year, I can ask the both of you to retire and I take care of you, just like what you did for Papa and Yeye. But it looks like I will still continue to be a burden on you. I will need to stay home even if I get a job, and that's provided I am not one of those unemployable graduates. I won't be able to afford a car or a house and most likely have no savings at all. What is the government doing? After 30 years of producing oil, we are much poorer than before. Where did all our money go? I am really sorry and ashamed that you cannot rest even in your old age. In 1991, when I was 2 years old, Dr. Mahathir promised that Malaysia will achieve developed nation status by the year 2020 with a GDP of $17,000 per capita. In 2010, Idris Jalla, minister in the PM's department, warned that we will be bankrupt by 2019. You mean after 19 years of development, we are 8 years away from bankruptcy? Najib now changed the promise to high-income economy by the year 2020. That's $15,000 to $20,000 of GDP per capita. Can we trust him? Factoring inflation, we will be worse off than the 2009 GDP per capita of $7,000. Why do we want a government that is guaranteed to fail? You gave me a good education, taught me to respect our elders, the authorities, and our leaders. But I find our leaders' pronouncements are very confusing. Our Prime Minister promotes One Malaysia. That's a wonderful slogan. We see it everywhere on the mamak stalls. The BN even used it on banners in by-elections. By the way, who is paying for the promotion of One Malaysia? Our ex-Prime Minister, together with Ibrahim Ali, brandished the keris and screamed, "Ketuanan Melayu!" When protesters defiled a cow's head at the Selangor State Secretariat over a Hindu temple relocation, what did our Home Minister do? Surely that's threatening to the Hindus, right? Next, the use of Allah by Christians is banned. Churches are bombed over the issue. What's even more funny, Allah is halal for Christians in Sabah and Sarawak, but not in West Malaysia. Why are we bullying the minorities? The pronouncements from our leaders are so hypocritical. Are these the leaders you want us to emulate? Don't we, the younger generation, have a share in the oil revenues? Shouldn't we, like Alberta of Canada, keep at least 30% as a heritage fund for future generations? Instead, the current generation is transferring all the debt to us. There are 1.4 million civil servants. That's 5% of the population, one of the highest in Southeast Asia, and nearly 3 times that of Thailand. Add the 2.6 million rela. That's 4 million, 14% of the population. What's worse, pensions for civil servants are not covered by a trust fund. Instead, it is paid for with current income. That means, for the civil servants today, their pensions will be paid by us tomorrow. Is that fair? I find it strange that there are so many laws to control us. In uni, we cannot take part in politics because of UUCA. I am more than 21 years old. I can vote. Isn't voting a political act? Then we have the Sedition Act, the Printing Press and Publication Act, ISA and OSA. Even Bangladeshis have more freedom than us. A parliamentary seat in Putrajaya has 6,600 voters, while Kappa has 112,000 voters. That's 17 times different. The imbalance is ridiculous. Imagine if you are a company shareholder, Kappa's vote equals to 1 vote, while Putrajaya's vote equals to 17 votes. Is that fair? Today, I don't feel we are in a democracy. Instead, it feels like we are under a colonial occupation power. That's what more than 53 years of the same party rule has done to us. We used to laugh when you told us to come home early. We made fun of Mum because she would sit up to wait for us when we go out late. But after seeing what has happened to Kugan, Nurizan Saleh, Aminul Rashid, Teo Beng Hock, Altan Tuya, all at the hands of the authorities who are supposed to protect us, I can see why you are worried. I am sorry for giving so many sleepless nights, Ma. I promise it won't happen again. Mom and Dad, we can see corruption all around us. Policemen harass us on the streets for kopi money over minor traffic offences. GFI reported that 291 billion US dollars left the country illegally between 2000 and 2008. That's the highest in the world per capita. Where will this end? We see a palace being built for 800 million ringgit. That's double the original contract. A hospital in Shah Alam for 600 million ringgit. An MRT in KL will cost 35 billion ringgit. A mega tower to cost 5 billion ringgit. 6 billion for 6 boats. Yet, we have millions of people in Sabah and Sarawak who are living below the poverty level. Without access to decent roads and even healthcare, why are we treating them this way? What about billions spent on the unsinkable submarines and jet engines that fly off to Argentina? The 12.5 billion Port Klang Free Trade Zone? The Monsoon Cup? The school labs? Mum and Dad, my friends did a calculation. The scandals have totaled 400 billion ringgit already. The cost of corruption and extra cost to a middle-class family will be 1.1 million ringgit over 50 years. Even for a poor family, it's 300,000 ringgit. Can we afford to continue this way? I have the sense that racism has become more rampant over the past few years. We have politicians and even civil servants having the cheek to tell us to leave the country if we don't like it here. Some even call us prostitutes, beggars or pendatang. Who are these people to talk such nonsense? We pay their salaries. What is it doing to the national unity? Thomson Reuters Icon on the 13th of January 2011 reported that Malaysia owes 180 billion US dollars in bonds. 44.6 billion US dollars is due in 2011. Can we pay? If we can't, will the lenders demand a higher interest rate? If that happens, cost of living will go up. 180 billion US dollars is 88% of our GDP, 92,000 ringgit per household. That's a low-medium cost house. In December 2010, Ireland needed a bailout at 93% of debt to GDP. For us, that's less than a year away. 25 billion ringgit left the country in 2009. Instead of money coming in, money is going out. Is something wrong? Over the past 12 years, our debt has been growing. Even when oil was at 140 US dollars per barrel, our debts increased. That debt will be passed down to us. Why is the younger generation paying for the government's extravagance? These are the stages of national collapse. We have gone through stages 7, 10, 12, and 16. We can expect stage 23, hyperinflation, to come soon. Most countries collapse by stage 25, like Tunisia and Egypt. I read that 5 euro countries will collapse financially. Greece and Ireland needed a euro bailout. Portugal, Italy, and Spain are next. Many US states are near collapse. Food prices are going up, and hyperinflation is coming. Our poor have to spend 50 to 60% of their income on food. Middle East countries like Tunisia and Egypt have overthrown their leaders over food prices and democracy. The contagion is spreading to Jordan and Syria. Are we next? Mom, Daddy, I want cheaper cars, cheaper houses, lower cost of living, better education, better jobs, safer life, and national unity. I want a government that can give me that. I want to contribute to this country. I want you to be proud of me, but I cannot do it under the present regime. Please help me. Change the government. Change the system. For the sake of our future, please change. I love you. Oh, P.S. I found most of my stuff at Tindak Malaysia. I learned a lot from their forums on MalaysianYouth4Change, finance and economics, gold and precious metals, and politics. You can email them at vnet5m@gmail.com for more information, or watch their videos Malaysians for Change Parts 1 and 2 on YouTube. Bye!